with another video. Sorry it's been a while, but it's been I will be starting my uni videos again in next week, next week. It's just that I haven't exactly been learning as such outside of uni. That is kind of notable. So I have been at uni to see friends and try and get coursework done and all, but it's a bit trying to catch up and everything, but it's a bit So here we go, starting off with one. As many people know, especially the Welsh, that today is St. David's Day. And yeah, so today we are going to be talking about St. David. And my tablet is really scaring me. So yeah, here we go. Now, St. David's birth is said to have taken place on a cliff in a wild thunderstorm near a city that is now named after him. And some believe that he was born the son of Sanctus, king of Ceredigion, and a nun called Nonita, or Non. And about 500 year 550, David is said to have founded a monastery close to the place where he was born. And he and his fellow monks kind of lived simply like drinking only water and eating bread and herbs, as meat and beer was forbidden. And David became known as Dewi, please correct me if I'm wrong, as David, which translates roughly into David the water drinker. As the monks farmed land, but David insisted that they pull the plough and carry their tools without the help of animals, and they spent the evenings in prayer, reading and writing, but weren't allowed any personal possessions. And there's many stories of St. David's miracles, including bringing a dead boy back to life by splashing the child's face with tears and restoring a blind man's sight, which would be really good things. But his best known taken place in the village of Bibliography. Please sorry if I do botch any of this, as he was preaching to a large crowd, but some people had difficulty hearing him, and suddenly a white dove landed on David's shoulder, and as it did, the ground on which he stood rose up to form a hill, making it possible for everyone to see and hear him. And today, a church stands on the top of the hill, and the dove became St. David's emblem, and often appears on his portraits in stained glass windows, as churches and chapels dedicated to David are found not just in Wales but also southwest of England and in Brittany, as David's influences also spread to Ireland, where the Irish embraced his beliefs about caring for the natural world. And said his final words to his followers were, "Do the little things, and small things you've seen me doing." And the words are said to still inspire many people today, as St. David is believed to have died on the 1st of March 589, and 500 years later his first biography was written by Farch of Llanbadarn. Sorry if I botched that. And his popularity grew, poems and songs were written about him. And in the 12th century, more than 60 churches in Wales had been dedicated to him, and pilgrims visited his monastery at St. David's. And the nickname of Taffy for a Welshman links back to St. David as the original and ultimate Welshman, as the term dates back to the 17th century and derives from David, the Welsh for David, Welsh for David, and a shrine of St. David at his cathedral located in Britain's small city, St. David's in Pembrokeshire. It's thought so highly by Pope Callistus II that he states that two pilgrimages to the shrine was worth one of the Vatican in Rome. As King Edward I took the head and arm of St. David's from the cathedral after his 1284 conquest of Wales, and he displays remains along with a number of other holy relics in London. Really should be sent back to Wales, as it is their patron saint and all that. And David is the only Welsh saint to be canonised by the Western Catholic Church. Yet Abbey in Glastonbury claims Saint David as its patron. Now, Saint David's Day was raised to principal feast status in the church calendar after Henry VIII's success at the Battle of Agincourt in 1415, with partly later in thanks to the Welsh saint for intervening on his behalf against the French, as luckily David was able to repeat his kind favour of the last Friday and Six Nations rugby match and all that. In Shakespeare's Henry V, Furlen's English colleague Pistol dares to insult the humble league on St. David's Day, as Furlen insists he eat the national emblem as punishment. If you mock a league, you can eat a league. In Act 5, Scene 1. And in Arthur E. Hughes' essay, The Welsh National Emblem, Leek or Daffodil, which appears in the journal Here Came a Door, 26 in 1916, now 147 to 90, pages 147 to 90. The author explains that the origins of a leek as a national symbol is uncertain, as Shakespeare popularised the idea of wearing a leek originated as a recognition of a Welsh soldier's bravery at the Battle of Saracy in 1346 in his play Henry VIII from 1588 to 99. And you always need to wear a leek or daffodil, and daffodil on St. David's Day. Yeah, it's because his preference for some, and sources from the 17th century onwards claims that St. David was responsible for custom of wearing leeks in memory of David's custom fasting on water and leeks, as said in Michael Drayton's work Polyolbion from 1612, and wearing the daffodil was promoted in particular by former Prime Minister David Lloyd George, as daffodil is Saint Peter, i.e. Peter's leek, in Welsh, easily to conflate Senin with leek and Senin Peter, meaning Peter's leek kind of thing. And the investiture of Edward as Prince of Wales in Carnarvon in 1911 saw Welsh dragons and daffodils used as a symbol of thrones and regalia rather than leeks. As many mark the St. David's Day by wearing a leek or daffodil, being the national emblem of Wales, or by displaying a flag of St. David, which features a yellow cross on a black background. Schools across Wales will hold festival celebrations with children dressed up in the traditional costumes and all that. As in St. David's Cathedral and Bishop's Palace in Pembrokeshire, now the monastery that St. David founded, close to where the cathedral now stands, as the cathedral was built in his name, became one of the most important shrines of the medieval Christian world. And in the 12th century, the Pope declared that 2 pilgrimages to St. David's were equivalent to one to Rome, kind of thing, by the aforementioned Pope. as the Bishop's Palace, which still stands, was mainly built mainly in the 1300s. In contrast to the frugal life of St. David and his monks, the bishops lived in a grand palace where they feasted and entertained nobles and kings. As the structure evokes a period when religion was the order of the day, and the bishops were power brokers par excellence. Another place is St. David's Bishop's Palace, as Bishop Thomas Beck, spelled B-E-K, undertook significant new building work on a site, but it was Bishop Henry de Goa who was responsible for virtually the entire palace we see today, and its legacy consists of two great ranges. The East Range, which is considered the more simpler of the two, was the first to be built, which was to be his private domain, and the second was the South Range, which was grander in style and for more entertaining and stylish entertaining. As a great hall, it's considered the most impressive chamber of the palace, and created for like banquets in mind kind of thing. And there's also St. Non's Chapel. And St. David's, as a chapel said to lie on the spot where David was born and was dedicated to his mother, Non, as the ruins now overlook the Pembrokeshire coastline. As a holy well close to the chapel was said to have healing properties in them, as the visitors can throw a coin for good luck. And then there's Lampe's Bishop's Palace in Pembrokeshire, as like in St. David's Bishop's Palace. It was built on a grand and lavish scale by the wealthy medieval church, and it was a place where the bishops of St. David's went to get away from everything, escaping the stresses of church and state life. And it is what we see today is mainly a work of Henry de Goa, the Bishop of St. David's from 1328 to 1347, and to his vision, elegant as Lampe became the away-from-it-all palace for high-ranking members of the clergy clean to play being country gentlemen kind of thing. Archbishop Goa's hall is about 82 feet long and has fine architectural achievements in it, and its sheer grandeur would have impressed the most privileged of the bishops in those days. And equally well preserved and detailed are the architecture and the western hall of the inner gatehouse. So yeah, there's some sights for those of you wanting to go to see like St. David's and all, and yeah. I'll see you all see you all next week if I don't see you sooner. So yeah, bye for now. I'll see you all later.